Lieutenant Commander Jack Willis stood alone on the observation deck of the USS Defiant. The stars stretched out before him, cold and distant, just like his career prospects. 5 years ago, he had been on the fast track to becoming an admiral. Now he commanded an outdated patrol vessel that no one in the fleet even remembered existed. The Defiant had once been a proud ship. Now it drifted at the edges of human space, assigned to monitor an empty sector near Viridian territory. The ship's hull was scratched and dented. Its systems were outdated. Its crew consisted of officers who, like Jack, had made mistakes that the fleet wanted to forget. Jack sipped his coffee and frowned. It was cold, just like everything else on this ship. The heating systems worked at minimum capacity to save power. His breath made small clouds in the chilly air of the observation deck. "Commander?" a voice called from behind him. Jack turned to see Communications Officer Olivia Martinez. She was young and smart, with sharp eyes that missed nothing. Her only flaw was speaking her mind too often to superior officers. That's how she had ended up here, on a ship no one cared about. "What is it, Martinez?" Jack asked. "I'm picking up a strange signal, sir. It's coming from the asteroid field in Sector 7. Jack raised an eyebrow. Nothing ever happened in Sector 7. That's why they were assigned to patrol it. What kind of signal? "I'm not sure, sir. It's not Viridian. It's not human either. I've never seen anything like it." Jack drained the last of his cold coffee. Finally, something interesting. "Alert, Chief. Engineer Harrison and Security Chief Diaz. Tell them to meet us in the command center." 15 minutes later, Jack stood looking at the main screen with his senior officers. The signal pulsed steadily, coming from deep within the asteroid field. Sam Harrison, the ship's engineer, scratched his beard. He had been brilliant once, before alcohol had derailed his career. Now sober for 3 years, he was still paying for his past mistakes. "It's definitely artificial," Sam said, "but I can't identify the technology." Laura Diaz, head of security, crossed her arms. She had once been the youngest lieutenant in the fleet before she punched an admiral's son for harassing a cadet. "Could be a trap," she said. "The Viridians have been pushing boundaries lately." Jack considered his options. Protocol required him to report any unusual findings immediately. But no one listened to reports from the Defiant anyway. This might be his last chance to do something that mattered. "Martinez, can you pinpoint the exact location?" Olivia nodded. "Yes, sir, I can guide us there." "Then set a course," Jack said. "Let's see what we're dealing with." The Defiant moved slowly through the asteroid field. Giant rocks tumbled past them. Ice crystals sparkled in the ship's lights. Jack felt the familiar tension in his shoulders that came before a discovery or a disaster. "There," Olivia said, pointing at the screen. "That large asteroid at 2 o'clock. The ship's lights illuminated something embedded in the rock. It wasn't natural. The object was smooth and metallic with curved lines that reminded Jack of flowing water frozen in time. "Is that a ship?" Laura asked, leaning forward. "Part of one," Sam replied. "The rest must be inside the asteroid." Jack made his decision. "Prepare a boarding team. Harrison, Diaz, you're with me. Martinez, you have the bridge." Olivia looked like she wanted to object, but simply nodded. "Yes, sir." The team suited up in the airlock. Their boots had magnetic clamps to keep them on the surface of the unknown ship. Their suits would protect them from the vacuum of space for 6 hours. "Stay alert," Jack told them as they stepped onto the surface of the mysterious vessel. "We don't know what we're dealing with." The ship's hull was unlike anything Jack had seen before. It wasn't made of separate pieces welded together like human ships. It seemed to be one continuous piece, flowing and seamless. "This material," Sam said, running a scanner over the surface. "It's not in our database. It's not metal, not exactly. More like metal that's alive." They found what appeared to be an entrance, a circular indentation in the hull. When Jack placed his hand near it, the circle spiraled open without a sound. "That's impossible," Laura whispered. "This ship must be ancient, but the systems are still working." The inside of the ship was dark. Their helmet lights cut through the blackness, revealing corridors that curved gently, like the inside of a seashell. "The air is breathable," Sam reported, checking his scanner. Temperature is stable too. Keep your helmets on anyway, Jack ordered. We don't know what might be in here. They moved deeper into the ship. There were no signs of the crew, no bodies, nothing to indicate what had happened. Just empty corridors and rooms filled with unknown technology. In what appeared to be the ship's center, they found a large circular platform. Strange symbols covered its surface, glowing faintly with a blue light. Some kind of control center? Laura suggested. Sam approached it cautiously. The power source for this ship must be incredible to still be functioning after who knows how long. Jack felt drawn to the platform. Something about the symbols seemed almost familiar, as if they were speaking to him on some level he couldn't quite understand. Sir, Laura said sharply. Long-range sensors are picking up movement. A Viridian scout ship is approaching this sector. Jack cursed under his breath. The Viridians were humanoid aliens with blue-tinted skin and technology far more advanced than humanity's. Relations between the two species had been tense for decades. If they found humans poking around an unknown ship in disputed territory, it could trigger a diplomatic incident, or worse. How long until they're in scanner range of us? Jack asked. 20 minutes, maybe less, Laura replied. We need to leave, Jack decided reluctantly. Harrison, download whatever data you can. We'll come back when it's safer. Sam nodded and pressed his data pad against what looked like an information terminal. Suddenly, the blue lights in the room pulsed brighter. The circular platform began to glow more intensely. What did you do? Laura demanded. Nothing, Sam protested. The ship hummed to life around them. The walls seemed to vibrate, with energy. Displays lit up, showing streams of data in the unknown language. We need to get out now, Jack ordered. As they turned to leave, a beam of light shot from the center of the platform and swept over them. Jack felt a tingling sensation through his suit. Then the light vanished, and the ship returned to its previous, dormant state. What was that? Laura asked, her voice tense. Some kind of scan, I think, Sam replied, checking his equipment. It didn't damage anything. Let's go, Jack said. The Viridians will be here soon. They hurried back through the curved corridors to the exit. Once outside, they returned to the Defiant as quickly as possible. Martinez, get us out of here, Jack ordered as they removed their spacesuits. Best speed, away from the approaching Viridian ship. Yes, sir, Olivia replied. Did you find anything interesting? Jack exchanged looks with Sam and Laura. Maybe. We're not sure yet. As the Defiant pulled away from the asteroid field, none of them noticed the faint glow that briefly appeared on their ship's hull, or the tiny changes beginning in its systems, and none of them realized that the ancient ship hadn't just scanned them. It had connected with them, marking the beginning of a transformation that would change everything. The Defiant continued its patrol route through empty space. 3 days had passed since they discovered the strange ship. Jack sat in his captain's chair on the bridge, reading reports on his tablet. Something wasn't right. The ship was acting strangely. Sir, Olivia said from her communications station, engineering is reporting another power surge. Jack frowned. That was the 5th one today. Tell Chief Harrison I want answers, not more problems. He's trying, sir. He says he can't explain what's happening. Jack stood up and stretched. His back hurt. The captain's chair was as uncomfortable as everything else on this outdated ship. I'll go see for myself. You have the bridge, Martinez. Jack walked through the narrow corridors of the Defiant. Crew members nodded respectfully as he passed. Even on a ship full of rejects, discipline mattered. In engineering, Sam Harrison was on his back under a console. Tools were scattered around him. He was talking to himself and didn't notice Jack enter. Need some help? Jack asked. Sam bumped his head as he slid out. Commander, I didn't hear you come in. What's going on with my ship, Harrison? Sam wiped his hands on his uniform. There were dark circles under his eyes. He hadn't been sleeping. I wish I knew, sir. The power system is doing things it shouldn't be able to do. Efficiency is up 30%. Some circuits are rerouting themselves without any input from us. Could it be related to that alien ship we found? Sam hesitated. I've been thinking the same thing. When that light scanned us, I think it did something to the Defiant. Jack lowered his voice. Show me. Sam led Jack to a maintenance panel and opened it. Inside, the usual wiring and circuits looked different. Tiny metallic threads wove through the system, gleaming with a faint blue light. What am I looking at? Jack asked. Nanobots, Sam replied. Microscopic machines. They're rebuilding our ship from the inside out. Jack stared at the shimmering threads. Are they dangerous? That's the strange part. They're making the ship better. Power systems, life support. Even the heating has improved. Remember how cold it was on the observation deck? Go there now. It's comfortable. Before Jack could respond, the ship's alarm blared. He rushed back to the bridge with Sam following. Close behind, report, Jack demanded as he entered. Laura Diaz looked up from the security station. Her face was pale. Sir, the weapon systems just came online. By themselves. Shut them down, Jack ordered. I tried, Laura said. I can't, and they're changing. The main screen showed a diagram of the Defiant. The small laser cannons the ship had been equipped with were morphing. The structures extended, components shifted, and new elements appeared that weren't in any human weapons design. Harrison? Jack turned to his engineer. Sam studied the readings on the nearest console. The nanobots. They're upgrading our weapons systems. To what? Jack asked. I don't know. Nothing I've ever seen before. Jack made a quick decision. Keep this quiet. No reports to command yet. I want to understand what's happening first. Sir, Laura protested. Regulations require immediate reporting of any unknown technology or compromise of ship systems. I know the regulations, Chief Diaz, but command would order us to destroy the ship and possibly ourselves along with it. I want more information before we make that call. The weapons finished their transformation and went quiet. Jack ordered Sam to run full diagnostics on the new systems while keeping them offline. Dr. Penny Collins, the ship's xenobiologist, called Jack to the science lab later that day. She was a small woman with curly hair who spoke quickly when excited. Right now she was very excited. Commander, I've been analyzing the data Chief Harrison collected from the alien ship. It's fascinating. Holographic symbols floated above her. Workstation. They shifted and changed as she worked. Can you read it? Jack asked. Some of it. The language has mathematical patterns that make translation possible. From what I can tell, the ship belonged to a species called the Archivists. Never heard of them. That's because they've been extinct for thousands of years. Penny's eyes were bright with discovery. According to this data, they were peaceful explorers who traveled the galaxy collecting and preserving knowledge. What happened to them? Penny's excitement dimmed. They were destroyed by the Viridians. Jack felt a chill that had nothing to do with the ship's temperature. The same Viridians we currently have an uneasy peace with? The very same. The archivists were technologically advanced but peaceful. They developed incredible defensive technology but rarely used it. When the Viridians attacked, they weren't prepared. Jack thought about the changes happening to his ship, and now their technology is merging with the Defiant. Why? I'm not sure yet, but there's something else. Penny showed him another data stream. This suggests the archivists hid pieces of their technology throughout the galaxy before they were wiped out, almost like they were leaving it for someone to find later. The ship-wide communication system crackled. Commander Willis to the bridge. Olivia's voice was tense. Emergency transmission from command. Jack hurried to the bridge. When he arrived, Olivia put the message on the main screen. Admiral Gregory Baker's face appeared. He looked grim. Attention all patrol vessels. Viridian warships have crossed into human territory in sectors 12 through 17. They have destroyed outposts on Titan and Europa. This is not a drill. All ships are ordered to fall back to defensive positions at Earth and Mars. Command out. The bridge was silent. Jack looked at his officers. Sectors 12 through 17 included nearly a third of human territory. This is it, Laura said quietly. The war everyone's been expecting for decades. We should follow orders and fall back, Olivia suggested. Jack looked at the star map. The Defiant was the closest ship to the Viridian advance. No one else could get visual confirmation of their numbers and positions in time. No, Jack said firmly. We're not falling back. We're going to see exactly what we're up against. Sir? Laura looked concerned. That's directly against orders. I'm aware, Chief Diaz, but we're the only ship that can get close enough to gather proper intelligence. Jack turned to Sam. How are our new systems looking? Better than anything I've ever seen, Sam admitted. If those weapons work the way the diagnostics suggest they might, we could actually stand a chance. Jack nodded. Plot a course to Sector 13. We're going to see what the Viridians are up to. He looked around at his crew. Anyone who objects can log their disagreement officially. I won't hold it against you. No one spoke. These officers had all made career-ending mistakes, but they were still the best at what they did. Very well, Jack said. Let's find out what this ship can really. I do. The Defiant changed course, heading toward Viridian territory instead of away from it. As it moved, more blue threads spread through its systems. The nanobots continued their work, preparing the once-ignored ship for a confrontation no one could have imagined. The Defiant moved silently through space. It wasn't the same ship anymore. Its hull now had a faint blue shimmer. Its engines made no sound. According to the instruments, they weren't even there. We're completely invisible to sensors, Sam explained on the bridge. The nanobots have created some kind of stealth system. Jack stood by the main view screen. Ahead of them was a Viridian warship. It was massive, at least 5 times the size of the Defiant. Its hull was dark blue with glowing lines that pulsed. Like veins. They have no idea we're here, Jack said quietly. Laura checked her security readings. Confirmed. They're not reacting to our presence at all. The crew watched in silence as they passed the Viridian ship. In the past, such a close encounter would have meant certain destruction for the small patrol vessel. Now they were ghosts. Let's see what they're doing, Jack ordered. Martinez, take us deeper into Sector 13. The Defiant moved forward. Soon, they saw more Viridian ships, dozens of them, then hundreds. My God, Olivia whispered. It's not an attack force. It's an invasion fleet. Jack felt cold inside. The Viridians weren't just claiming a few border sectors. They were preparing to take everything. Record everything, he ordered. We need to bring this information back to command. Over the next few hours, the Defiant moved through the Viridian fleet undetected. They watched as Viridian ships destroyed a small human mining colony. The aliens didn't even try to take prisoners. They simply eliminated all human presence. The crew was silent, unable to help without revealing themselves. Jack's hands gripped the arms of his chair so hard his knuckles turned white. Sir, Penny called from her science station. I'm picking up communications about the archivist ship. The Viridians know where it is. Jack turned to her. How? They must have detected our presence there before we left. They're sending a special team to secure it. That can't happen, Sam said firmly. If they get that technology. Jack nodded. Change of plans. We're going back to the asteroid field. The Defiant changed course. As they traveled, Sam worked with the ship's new systems. He discovered that the nanobots responded to thought as well as manual input. The ship was becoming almost like a living thing. It's like it knows what we need, Sam told Jack privately. Yesterday, I was thinking we needed better shielding for the engine core. This morning I found completely new shield generators installed. Is it dangerous? Jack asked. Could it take control from us? Sam shook his head. I don't think so. It seems to be cooperative, like it wants to help. When they arrived at the asteroid field, they found 3 Viridian ships already there. Scientists in special suits were examining the archivist vessel. We can't let them take that technology, Jack decided. Pilot, bring us in closer. Kevin Russell, the ship's pilot, looked nervous. Sir, there are 3 of them. They can't see us, and we need to create a distraction. Jack outlined his plan. It was risky, but they had no choice. The Defiant would create a disturbance in a different part of the asteroid field, while a small team took a shuttle to board the main Viridian research ship. Laura would lead the boarding team. We'll plant explosives to make it look like they accidentally triggered a self-destruct in the archivist ship, she explained. They'll think the technology was destroyed. Be careful, Jack told her. We don't know what your suits will do to their systems. The plan was put into action. The Defiant fired its new weapons at a large asteroid far from the archivist ship. The asteroid didn't just break apart, it disintegrated completely. The energy reading was off the charts. That's not what I expected, Jack admitted, as they watched the display. The Viridians immediately sent 2 ships to investigate the disturbance. Meanwhile, Laura and her team approached the 3rd ship in a small shuttle. Their suits, like the Defiant, had been modified by the nanobots. They now had advanced stealth capabilities. Jack watched anxiously as the team boarded the Viridian vessel. Laura's voice came through on a secure channel. We're in. Their security is focused on the archivist ship, moving to their computer core now. Minutes stretched into what felt like hours. Finally, Laura reported success. Charges set. We've also uploaded a virus that will corrupt their data about the ship. We're heading back now. Suddenly, alarms blared on the Defiant's bridge. A 4th Viridian ship just dropped out of faster-than-light travel, Olivia reported. It's a warship and it's heading straight for Laura's team. The shuttle was exposed, halfway between the Viridian research ship and the Defiant. The warship locked weapons on it immediately. Get them out of there, Jack ordered. We can't reach them in time, Kevin said, his hands flying over the controls. Jack made a split-second decision. Target the Viridian warship. Fire main weapons. Sam looked up in shock. Sir, we don't know what these weapons will do. Laura and her team are about to die. Fire the weapons now. Sam activated the new weapon system. A beam of intense blue light shot from the Defiant. When it touched the Viridian warship, something strange happened. Instead of exploding, the larger ship simply came apart. It dissolved into floating pieces, as if all the bonds holding its molecules together had suddenly disappeared. Everyone on the bridge stared in shock. What just happened? Jack asked quietly. The weapons didn't destroy the ship with force, Sam explained, looking at his readings in disbelief. They somehow unmade it, at the molecular level. The shuttle carrying Laura's team docked safely in the Defiant's bay. The remaining Viridian ships started searching for the source of the attack, but the Defiant's stealth systems kept them hidden. Get us out of here, Jack ordered. Maximum speed. As they moved away from the asteroid field, Laura joined them on the bridge. Her face was pale. Mission accomplished, sir, but... She hesitated. We just started a war with the Viridians. Jack looked at the view screen. The pieces of the destroyed warship floated like dust in space. No, Chief Diaz, they started it when they invaded our territory. We just showed them it won't be as easy as they thought. What now, sir? Olivia asked. Jack took a deep breath. Now we have a choice. We can return to Earth with our information and likely be court-martialed for disobeying orders. Or we can continue to gather intelligence and perhaps find more archivist technology. The crew looked at each other. They had all seen what the Viridians did to the human colony. I vote we keep fighting, Sam said firmly. One by one, the others nodded in agreement. Jack felt a strange mixture of pride and fear. Very well. We continue our mission. But first, we need to understand exactly what we're controlling. He turned to Sam. Chief Harrison, I want to know everything about these new systems, what they can do, and what they can't. Yes, sir. Sam replied. The Defiant moved deeper into Viridian-controlled space. A ship that everyone had once ignored, now carrying the fate of humanity on its transformed hull. Jack knew they couldn't stay hidden forever. After 2 weeks of gathering intelligence on Viridian movements, he decided it was time to warn Earth. The Defiant changed course, heading back to human space. We have enough evidence now, Jack told his officers. Command needs to see what we found. The journey back was tense. Everyone wondered how they would be received. They had disobeyed direct orders. They had engaged a Viridian warship. but they also had vital information that might save humanity. When they approached Earth, they received an immediate response. USS Defiant. This is Earth Defense Command. Your ship is showing unusual readings. Identify yourself and hold position. This is Lieutenant Commander Jack Willis of the USS Defiant. Request permission to dock at Starbase Omega. We have critical intelligence about the Viridian invasion. There was a long pause before the reply came. Defiant, you are ordered to maintain position. A security team will board your vessel. Jack looked at his crew. They're afraid of us. Can you blame them? Laura asked. Look at us. She was right. The Defiant barely resembled a human ship anymore. Its hull had transformed into the flowing, seamless design of archivist technology. Blue light pulsed through its systems. It was beautiful and strange and frightening. A large military vessel approached them. Jack recognized it as the Valiant, one of Earth's newest battleships. Small shuttles departed from its bay, heading toward the Defiant. Let them board, Jack ordered. No resistance. Armed soldiers in heavy spacesuits entered the Defiant. They moved cautiously, weapons drawn. Their leader was a stern-faced woman with colonel's insignia. I am Colonel Grace Bennett. This ship is now under military quarantine. All crew members will be detained for questioning. Jack stepped forward. Colonel, we understand your concerns, but we have critical information about the Viridian threat. Time is of the essence. Grace studied him, then looked around at the transformed interior of the ship. What happened to this vessel, Commander? It's a long story, one that I'd prefer to tell to Admiral Crawford directly. The colonel hesitated, then nodded. You and your senior officers will come with me to Starbase Omega. The rest of your crew will remain here under guard. Jack and his senior officers were escorted to Starbase Omega. Scientists and engineers swarmed over the Defiant, attempting to understand its transformation. Jack, Sam, Penny, Laura, and Olivia were brought to a secure conference room. Admiral Helen Crawford was waiting for them. She was in her 60s with steel-gray hair and sharp eyes that missed nothing. She had commanded ships in the last border skirmish with the Viridians 20 years ago. Commander Willis, she said coolly, you disobeyed direct orders. You engaged a Viridian warship, and you've allowed alien technology to compromise your vessel. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't have you all court-martialed immediately. Jack activated a datapad. It displayed images of the Viridian invasion fleet they had recorded. This is why, Admiral. The Viridians aren't making a border incursion. They're launching a full-scale invasion with more ships than we've ever seen them deploy. They've already destroyed colonies in Sectors 13 and 14. They're not taking prisoners. Admiral Crawford studied the images, her expression grave. Our intelligence suggested they had 10, maybe 12 capital ships crossing the border. They have over 300, Jack said quietly. And they're not interested in negotiation. The Admiral was silent for a long moment. Then she looked at Jack's crew. Tell me everything. What happened to your ship? And how did you get this? Intelligence without being detected? Jack explained their encounter with the archivist ship and how its technology had merged with the Defiant. He described their stealth capabilities and the weapons that had disintegrated a Viridian warship. Penny shared what she had learned about the archivists and their ancient conflict with the Viridians. So this extinct species has given us technology to fight the Viridians, Admiral Crawford summarized. Convenient timing. I don't think it's coincidence, Penny said. From what I've translated of their data, the archivists knew the Viridians would continue expanding. They hid their technology throughout the galaxy, waiting for someone to find it when it was needed. And it chose us, Sam added. The technology seems to respond differently to different people. It's almost like it's evaluating us. Admiral Crawford frowned. That's what concerns me, Harrison. This technology could be a trap. It could be controlling your actions. You could be compromised without even knowing it. With respect, Admiral, Jack said firmly, if the archivists wanted to harm us, they could have done so already. Instead, they've given us a fighting chance against an enemy that would destroy us completely. Before the Admiral could respond, alarms blared throughout the starbase. A young officer rushed into the room. Admiral, long-range sensors have detected a massive Viridian fleet approaching Earth's outer defenses. They'll be here within 6 hours. Admiral Crawford stood quickly. How many ships? Over 500, ma'am. Our entire fleet is moving to intercept, but we're outnumbered 3-1. The Admiral turned to Jack. It seems we don't have time for court-martials after all. You and your crew are being temporarily reinstated. She looked at them seriously. I'm still not sure I trust this archivist technology, but we need every advantage we can get right now. Let us get back to the Defiant, Jack urged. We can help. You'll be placed under the command of Captain Rogers on the Valiant, the Admiral stated. Your ship will follow his orders in the coming battle. That would be a mistake, Laura said boldly. The Defiant doesn't fight like a normal ship anymore. We need freedom to use its capabilities effectively. Admiral Crawford's eyes narrowed. You're asking for independent command in the middle of Earth's defense? We're asking to be allowed to fight in a way that will be most effective, Jack explained. The Defiant systems are unlike anything in our fleet. Standard tactics won't work for us. The Admiral considered this. Very well. You'll operate independently, but you will coordinate with Fleet Command. If at any point I believe your ship is compromised, I will order its destruction. Is that clear? Crystal clear, Admiral, Jack replied. As they were escorted back to their ship, Olivia pulled Jack aside. Sir, I've been analyzing communications patterns during our time here. There's something strange about how certain officials are responding to the Viridian threat. What do you mean? Some high-ranking people seem to be, not surprised enough, and there have been encrypted transmissions that don't follow any standard protocol. Jack frowned. You think there are collaborators? I think there might be Viridian infiltrators, Olivia said quietly, or humans working with them. Jack felt a chill. Keep investigating, but quietly. For now, we focus on the coming battle. When they returned to the Defiant, they found the scientists and engineers who had been examining it, looking frustrated and bewildered. The ship won't respond to us, one of them complained. We can't access any of its new systems, Sam smiled, slightly. That's because it chooses who it works with. He placed his hand on a console, and it lit up immediately with blue light. As the crew returned to their stations, Jack felt the ship responding to them. It seemed almost happy to have them back. Prepare for battle, he ordered. The fate of Earth depends on what we do in the next few hours. The human fleet gathered near Jupiter's orbit. 200 ships formed a defensive line against the approaching Viridian Armada. On the Defiant's main screen, Jack could see the massive enemy fleet, over 500 warships moving in perfect formation. This is going to be a massacre, Laura said quietly. Jack nodded. The human ships were brave, but they stood no chance against such overwhelming force. The Viridian weapons technology was far superior. Only the Defiant, with its archivist, upgrades might be able to make a difference. We need to find a way to even the odds, Jack said. Harrison, what's our weapons status? Sam checked the ship's systems. Fully operational. The molecular disintegration beam is at full power. We also have some new systems I haven't fully identified. Yet, we can't save everyone, Olivia pointed out. Even if we destroy 50 enemy ships, that leaves hundreds more. Jack frowned, thinking hard. Then Penny rushed onto the bridge, her eyes wide with excitement. Commander, I've made a breakthrough with the archivist data. What is it? The archivists weren't just hiding their technology around the galaxy. They were creating a network of ships, all connected through quantum entanglement. Jack stared at her. What does that mean in simple terms, Doctor? It means the Defiant isn't meant to fight alone, Penny explained. It's meant to be part of a fleet of ships all enhanced with archivist technology. Jack looked at the view screen, at the human ships preparing for their last stand. Are you saying we could upgrade other ships? Right now? I think so. Penny nodded. The nanobots could spread to other vessels if we establish direct contact, like an infection but beneficial. How long would it take? Hours, maybe days for a full transformation, Sam interjected. We don't have that kind of time. A message came through from Admiral Crawford. All ships prepare for engagement. The Viridian fleet will be in weapons range in 30 minutes. Jack made his decision. Martinez, send a message to every decommissioned or outdated ship in the fleet. Tell them to break formation and join us. Sir? Olivia looked confused. Those ships are like the Defiant, old, ignored, considered worthless. But they're crewed by good people who deserve a chance to make a difference. Understanding dawned on Olivia's face. She sent the message. For several tense minutes, nothing happened. Then, one by one, ships began to break away from the main fleet. Older vessels, patrol ships, and damaged cruisers moved toward the Defiant's position. Admiral Crawford's angry voice came over the comm. Willis, what are you doing? Get those ships back in formation. With respect, Admiral, we have a plan, Jack replied. Those ships stand no chance in a standard battle line. Let us try something else. There was a pause, then. You have 15 minutes, Commander. Make them count. 23 ships gathered around the Defiant. Jack addressed their captains. This is Commander Willis. What I'm about to propose will sound strange, but it may be our only chance. My ship has been transformed by ancient technology designed to fight the Viridians. We believe we can share this technology with your vessels, but it requires direct contact. Direct contact? In the middle of a battle? One captain asked skeptically. We need to form a circle, Jack explained. Ship to ship, physically touching. The Defiant will be at the center. It was an unprecedented maneuver. Spaceships were never meant to touch in combat conditions. But these captains had nothing to lose. Their ships were already considered expendable. Slowly, carefully, the ships moved into position. The Defiant touched each vessel in turn. As they connected, blue light spread from the Defiant's hull to the other ships. It's working, Sam reported excitedly. The nanobots are transferring. Jack felt the Defiant responding to his thoughts, and somehow he could sense the other ships too. A network was forming, ship to ship, crew to crew. 5 minutes to Viridian weapons range, Laura announced. The transformation wasn't complete, but there was no more time. Jack gave the order. All ships, move to attack formation. The small fleet of once-ignored vessels moved toward the massive Viridian Armada. On the main human battle line, Admiral Crawford watched in amazement as the ships changed before her eyes. Their hulls shimmered with blue light. Their movements became perfectly coordinated. What are they doing? She whispered. The Viridian fleet opened fire. Devastating energy beams shot toward the human defense line. Ships exploded one after another. The battle had begun, but the small fleet led by the Defiant wasn't hit. Somehow, they avoided every shot. They moved like a single organism, flowing between the enemy vessels. Jack stood on his bridge, hands gripping the console. He could feel every ship in their network, could sense their movements. It wasn't just the technology connecting them. It was something deeper, a shared purpose that the archivist systems had recognized and amplified. Target the Viridian flagship, Jack ordered. As one, the transformed ships fired their new weapons. Blue energy beams struck the massive Viridian vessel. It didn't explode, it simply came apart, dissolving into floating particles. The Viridian attack faltered. They had never seen such weapons before, not since the time of the archivists, thousands of years ago. Jack sensed confusion in the enemy fleet. He pressed the advantage. All ships continue firing. More Viridian vessels dissolved. The transformed human ships moved with impossible grace, untouched by enemy fire. What had seemed like certain defeat was becoming something else entirely. On the bridge of his flagship, the Viridian commander watched in horror as his fleet was decimated. Impossible, he hissed through blue-tinted lips. The archivist technology was destroyed eons ago. Jack's voice came through on all channels, human and Viridian alike. This is Lieutenant Commander Jack Willis of the USS Defiant. You have invaded our territory. You have destroyed our colonies. And now you face the consequences, the Viridian commander snarled. We will never surrender to inferior beings. I'm not asking for surrender, Jack replied. I'm giving you a choice. Leave human space immediately and never return or be destroyed completely. You have 1 minute to decide. To emphasize his point, 5 more Viridian warships dissolved into nothingness. The Viridian commander looked at his officers. Their once certain victory had turned into potential annihilation. He gave the order to retreat. One by one, the Viridian ships turned and fled from Earth's orbit. The human fleet, what remained of it, erupted in cheers. Admiral Crawford contacted the Defiant. "Commander Willis, I don't know what you did, but you just saved Earth. Report to headquarters immediately." Jack looked at his crew. They were exhausted but proud. "Yes, Admiral, we're on our way." As the Defiant led its small fleet back to Earth, Penny approached Jack. "Commander, I've finished translating the archivist data. The Viridians aren't the only threat out there. The archivists encountered many dangerous species in their explorations, and they left their technology for us to find," Jack said, understanding dawning. "Not just to defeat the Viridians, but to prepare us for what else is out there." Jack gazed at the stars visible through the viewscreen. The universe suddenly seemed much larger and more dangerous. But humanity wasn't alone anymore. They had the legacy of the archivist to guide them. "Tell Admiral Crawford we'll need more ships," Jack said with a small smile. "Especially the ones everyone else has ignored." The Defiant continued toward Earth, its blue hull gleaming among the stars, no longer forgotten but a symbol of humanity's unexpected salvation.